Hello, welcome to Inspiration for the Soul, and I am Israel. I would like to speak on the topic of using the widow's mite. There are times as women that we may fall into situations that, if we're not careful, will cause us to be abused by the world and to be abused by others. There are times, especially as single parents, single mothers, where you're unable to make ends meet for your children and for yourself, where you're perhaps having a difficulty in making the mortgage payment or a difficulty in paying the rent, the school fees, the simple everyday food for the children and for yourselves. And so it is my responsibility today to remind you of the widow's mite. And for those who have never heard the concept, to introduce you to the concept of the widow's mite. And this is found in 2 Kings and chapter 4, where it was said, a certain woman of the wives of the sons of the prophets cried unto Elijah, saying, Your servant my husband is dead, and you know that your servant feared the Lord, and the creditor is coming to take my two sons to be his slaves. So Elijah said to her, What shall I do for you? Tell me, what do you have in the house? And she said, Your maidservant has nothing in the house but a jar of oil. Then he said, Go borrow vessels from everywhere, from all your neighbors. Empty the vessels. Do not gather just a few. And when you have come in, you shall shut the door behind you and your sons. Then pour into those vessels and set aside the full ones. So she went from him and shut the door behind herself and her sons, who brought the vessels to her, and she poured it out. Now it came to pass, when the vessels were full, that she said to her son, Bring me another vessel. And he said to her, There is no more vessel. And so the oil ceased. Then she came and told the man of God, which is Elijah, of course. And he said, Go and sell the oil and pay your debt, and you and your sons live on the rest. And so it is my responsibility to say to you that you have to look around you. What do you have? What talents have God blessed you with? What has God laid on your heart? Submit that unto God and watch Him spin it for your prosperity. Do not allow yourself to be abused or to be used by a system or to be used by others simply because you are unable to take care of yourself. Do not lay your morals and your values on the line. Be militant in your beliefs. What do you have in your house? What do you have in your hands? What do you have in your mind? What do you have in your heart? What are your talents and your capabilities? Look around you. What are the needs in your community or in your area? And how can you satisfy those? How can you use what you have, your talents that you have, that God has blessed you with, so that you are able to satisfy your need? Submit those to God. And just like the widow with only a jar of oil, submit what you have, even when you believe it is not much. Submit what you have. Can you cook? Can you offer those services to those in your community? What do you have in your house? What do you have in your hand? Submit that unto God and let Him spin it. This is Inspiration for the Soul, and I am Israel, and I wish you love.